Welcome back to 96 Degrees. We have a special guest with us. His name is Dr. Anthony Bernard Frampton, and he's going to be sharing on Thursday of this week a special lecture, a public lecture here at the University of the West Indies on cashing in on the booming global film business. And this is being put on by the Center for Tourism and Policy Research, where he is a visiting research fellow. How are you, Dr. Frampton?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me.
And welcome. Tell me something now. First of all, you are a Carrimack graduate?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So Carrimack is again proud of another one of its bright lights shining very, very well in the area not just of media, but in now particularly in the area of film. And you recently completed your PhD in media and communication at Bowling Green State University in the US. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You looked at a critical political economy and analysis of the production in Dominica of Pirates of the Caribbean, the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Many people don't know that Pirates of the Caribbean was filmed in Dominica, and we had a discussion recently where you were talking about the effect of this huge enterprise and franchise filming in Dominica, and I was quite intrigued by what you said about it. How much did that enterprise benefit Dominica?
Yeah, well, actually, the research project looked at foreign film productions in Dominica from the time the island became independent.
Okay.
So that would, of course, include the more high-profile films,
right,
for Dead Man's Chest and At World's End,
yes,
which were two of the highest ever grossing films,
yes,
Hollywood films. So I actually wanted to understand some of the political economic issues like legislation, regulations,
yes,
and policies and so on, the flow of resources,
yes, labor
and so on. And because the research, the extant research that I had come across had looked at that particular phenomenon in New Zealand, in Australia, but nobody had looked at it in developing countries, and certainly nobody had looked at it from the perspective of the host country. Everyone sort of looked at it from the Hollywood perspective.
Right.
And I wanted to understand, well, what happens to these locations, and how do these locations benefit? And I was actually quite fascinated and astonished at the types of information that I garnered. First of all, that I found out that Pirates of the Caribbean only used just about 5% of its budget for one of the films, Dead Man's Chest, to actually shoot two of the films in Dominica for over a 6-month period. So the perception that, there was all this money and all this, well, maybe yes, comparative to what we are not accustomed to, but in terms of the budget allocations for the film company, they actually only spent a really small percent of the
5%. Wow. Does that mean that they don't pay the kind of costs that they would have to pay in another location? Is that what was responsible for that? Or?
Yes, that was a major part of it. The thing is that most of these major big budget film production companies, when they go to what we call satellite productions, offshore locations, they expect a whole range of incentives.
Yes.
Okay, they're not going there just because they like the location. Yes, that may be a part of it.
Yes.
What we call sort of creative runaways, that may be a part of it.
Yes.
But there's also something called economic runaways, which are more important. That basically says that these film producers go to satellite locations that could save them a whole lot of money. And as I found out, that they got unprecedented levels of concessions from the government of Dominica. I mean, they did not pay Social Security, they did not pay what we call PAYE, income tax. They did not pay any import duties. They did not pay corporate tax, withholding tax. They did not pay for the use of government facilities, at least a lot of them. And they were able to get away with paying very, very low labor rates.
Wow.
Wages were low. So
So there are,
Yes.
so in other words, there are greater opportunities for earning for many of the regions filmmaking locations than are being explored, and that is really what you're going to be talking with us about on Thursday. How we can look at Nollywood, Bollywood, and for those who don't know, Nollywood is Nigeria, right?
Yes.
And Bollywood is India, South Korea, and other places like that. And ways in which we can look at those examples for cashing in on really a booming business. Is the Caribbean really still an ideal destination with the trends in film now?
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, the thing is, we have to be careful about looking at film production and the film industry mainly from the perspective of being a host location, because my research has shown that's not the best way to benefit from the booming industries. I mean, countries that have utilized what we call film-induced tourism, which is a strategy for attracting this big budget film production.
Yes.
These countries who have benefited most from it are countries who have invested heavily in developing a local film industry, a national film industry, an indigenous film industry.
Yes.
So whereas for us in the Caribbean, we cannot yet talk of a film industry,
yes,
because we do not have the elements of a film industry, and these elements are identified as, production, finance, distribution, regulations and policies,
yes,
codes of practice,
yes,
marketing and promotion. All these are elements of a film industry that have to be consolidated into a sort of synergistic mode of operation,
yes,
for us to begin to talk about the film industry. And we are yet to see these elements being sort of a major part of Caribbean filmmaking.
And so on Thursday you'll be talking about just these same issues: the business and legal aspects of filmmaking, the development of a film industry and its effect on the economy, advantage of investing in a film industry and film-related activities, including projects and events, how to market films regionally and internationally, how to access distribution outlets. Who do you want to come to hear you at this public lecture?
Well, actually, if you and you're really asking me a question that the typical filmmaker gets asked when he's submitting a film proposal.
Yes.
If you ask me, then I'll say, well, my target audience would naturally be filmmakers.
Yes.
But I think if we're talking about developing an industry, anybody within the society that have a profound impact on policy making,
yes,
profound impact in terms of the economic, legislative, environment, who have ideas for businesses.
Yes.
These are all people who will be able to benefit from reflections on what we need to do to develop a film industry.
Dr. Frampton, a lot of persons have a lot of money. I mean, people are going to say, how you know, so I have money. But there are a lot of persons in our country right now who have money for investment. And they're trying to look for the way in which to go. Could you give me an idea of the kind of returns that can come to an investor investing in the right film project?
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. And the major problem that we have with attracting investments in filmmaking is that we are still yet to develop an industry. You see, investors want to ensure that at least there's a great chance of that they can make back their money, and not just make back their money, but make a profit on the investment that they make.
Exactly.
And if you don't have the right structures in place to at least mitigate losses and to reduce the level of risk, investors would likely stay away.
Yes.
So it's sort of a circular argument that you say, okay, yeah, we need investment in the film industry, but when you do not have the enabling environment to attract investors, then you're likely to find yourself at a stalemate. So this is why I'm emphasizing so much that we need to talk of an industry, not just about filmmaking, not just about film location destinations, but elements of a film industry that could attract investment.
Yes, yes. Well, we're looking forward to that lecture on Thursday. It's at the Faculty of Law Lecture Theatre 2 on the second floor of the law faculty right here at the University of the West Indies, Mona. And it's been put on by the Center for Tourism and Policy Research, which is also very involved in the GATFest project, aren't you?
Yes, yes. The Center of Tourism Policy and Research is actually very crucial in trying to help us sort of track a way to develop a film industry.
Yes.
So through the UE Community Film Project,
yes,
it is beginning to explore opportunities for grassroots film industry.
Yes.
And for GATFest as well, it is also exploring ways in which we can begin to develop our own indigenous forms of exhibition and promotion of our filmmaking.
That's a wonderful film festival. It's a Greater August Town Film Festival for those who don't know what GATFest means. And we want to also, in a very special way, say hello and commend Professor Ian Boxill, who is leading out all of this work. Thank you so much. We will be there, and we're looking forward to a wonderful public lecture. Thank you, Dr. Anthony Frampton, visiting research fellow at the Center for Tourism and Policy Research, inviting us to a public lecture on cashing in on the booming global film business, a film industry for the Caribbean. God bless you.
God bless you, brother.
All right, then.